Want to go swimming with really big sharks? Today I'm going to take you underwater with me and show you what it's like to swim with them and photograph them. In this video, I'll take you behind the scenes of a shark photography expedition. I'll share my favorite images and give you some photo tips too. If you have questions or comments, leave them in the comments or contact me through my website, bdphotographs.com. Okay, let's get in the water. Our destination is Tiger Beach, which is about 20 miles off of Grand Bahama Island in the Bahamas. The number and variety of sharks here makes it one of the sharkiest places on Earth. Most of the dives are only about 30 feet deep, and the water is very clear. There are no cages on these dives. We'll be cage-free and in open water with the sharks. We're going to focus on two types of sharks on this trip, the tiger shark and the Great Hammerhead shark. An adult tiger shark can grow up to 15 feet or more, and the hammerhead 12 to 15 feet easily, almost as large as the great white. So how do we photograph these awesome animals? To photograph large sharks, we need to get as close as possible and to use a wide-angle lens. If you use a DSLR camera, you'll want something around 15 millimeters, and a fisheye lens is even better. A GoPro or action camera has a very wide field of view too, which is exactly what we need. Luckily, a lot of marine animals are very curious and willing to get close if we remain calm and non-threatening. Which leads me to this next tip: always keep calm. So right here, a great hammerhead shark is approaching me, and she just bit my camera. This is not aggressive behavior. If I were a sensationalist, I could post this and call it a shark attack. Probably get many more views. As soon as her teeth touch my camera, she knows instantly that it's not food, and she moves on. Another thing you want to do in shark photography, and pretty much all underwater photography, is shoot up. That is, point your camera somewhat towards the surface. This produces a pleasing effect. If you're shooting with strobes, which is the same thing as flash, make sure to turn them to a fairly low power. Most sharks have white or light colored underside, and it's very easy to blow out and overexpose that part of the image if your strobes are too strong. Next, get the entire shark in frame. You'd be surprised how challenging this can be because the sharks are enormous and they come in super close. But if you cut off part of the shark, that's it. Shot's a failure. Don't feel bad, I mess up shots all the time. After 90 minutes underwater, we'll get out, refill our air supply, and rehydrate. We'll also change out the batteries or memory cards of our cameras if we need to. So now that you're an expert, ready to get back in? Alright, as we look around for good subjects, you'll see lots of other sharks swimming nearby. These include reef sharks and lemon sharks. They're all quite docile and sometimes even bump into us by accident. We don't really pay much attention to them since we're looking out for larger sharks. One species that lurks around that we do need to watch out for is the bull shark. Bull sharks look like reef sharks on steroids, really stocky and streamlined. These sharks can be dangerous, so we need to keep an eye on them. The biggest challenge to photographing sharks is the constant multitasking you need to do. You've got to be on all the time, always looking around for big sharks, and that's because sharks are ambush hunters, so you never want to let one sneak up on you. Last tip I'll give you is to break the rules. Definitely not the rules about safety though. Remember how I told you to shoot up? Well, here's an example of shooting directly down and how it creates an interesting image. Usually shooting directly down is the worst angle in underwater photography, but here it works. And that about wraps it up. I hope you found this interesting and informative. Don't forget to subscribe and follow along on Instagram.